I made a simple drawing of a boat to demonstrate a few principles of drawing reflections. And I started by sketching out the boat, and I was paying particular attention to the angles of the lines and the tone on the boat. For the angles of the lines of the side of the boat, where they hit the water line acts like a mirror and it reverses the angle. And bear in mind, sometimes you can see more of an object in the reflection than you do from above at eye level, so I made the front point of the boat slightly bigger in the reflection too. And then I blocked in the tone, and the general rule is that light tones become slightly darker when reflected in water, so I made all of the tones of the boat a bit darker for the water, and having blocked in with pencil, I then used a blending stump. We need to find ways of making distinctions in their drawings between the actual objects and the reflected versions, so I just used the stump to change the surface of the pencil on the paper, or you could use a cotton bud. Then I put in a little bit more detail using a sharp clutch pencil to give me a bit of definition both on the boat and in the reflection. I didn't want the water to look completely soft and shimmering, and I wanted to have some of those lovely ripples at the edges of the reflections. So they really give it character, and they're also really fun to draw. So I drew those in, but then again I used the blending stump, and this time I dragged the stump both horizontally and vertically across the paper and just generally moved the graphite around a little bit to create some extra tone. And towards the end of the drawing, I also used a rubber, and I just put in a few little highlights and took away some of the pencil, just to create the appearance of light reflecting off the water. And then you can see me here making a more resolved drawing of some boats in a harbour. I'm just working in my sketchbook, and I used a selection of pencils and quite a chunky graphite stick early on to introduce a large area of tone quite quickly. And once again, I use various techniques for disturbing the surface of the pencil, including smudging it with my fingers or dragging a rubber lightly over the surface. As well as later on, I used a small pencil eraser to create some highlights. And I paid attention to the tone, so the light coloured boat on the right hand side I made slightly darker as the reflection in the water. And you can see me working in different directions, so I overlaid areas of horizontal mark making with some vertical mark making, and hopefully it's the bringing together of these two things which starts to imply the surface of the water and the depth.